Okay. So you know how much we all love to just dive right into the good stuff, right?
Right into the heart of it.
It's exactly like no time wasted, no fluff.
Absolutely.
It's just pure juicy knowledge.
That's what we're here for.
Okay. So today we're taking a deep dive into Night Mega Burner.
Right. Sounds intriguing.
Yeah. So you guys have given us a mountain of info on this stuff. Like seriously, a mountain.
A whole mountain range?
Yeah. So, ingredient lists in like every language imaginable, FAQs, legal disclaimers, like the whole 9 yards.
The fine print, the bold print, everything.
Everything. So our mission impossible, should we choose to accept it?
We've accepted it already.
Well, we have. Okay, good.
Yeah.
We're in is to extract the most interesting and useful bits.
The gold nuggets.
Yes, the gold nuggets from this massive info pile and present them to you in a way that you can actually use.
Absolutely. And it looks like this nut mega burner, well, it promises to support fat burning while you sleep.
While you sleep.
While you sleep, yeah. And it helps you relax, and it supposedly leads to better sleep quality.
Okay, so like right off the bat, my question is,
I can see it brewing.
can a supplement really do all that while you're, counting sheep?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? I mean, burning fat while you sleep, it sounds almost too good to be true.
Yeah.
But the information they've provided does talk about how nighttime is like this unique period for your body.
Okay.
Everything slows down, your metabolism dips, your body temperature drops.
It's like the body's in chill mode.
Yeah, exactly. And what's really fascinating is the idea of whether we can tap into those natural shifts to encourage, better weight management.
Okay, so let's get into the specifics here.
Let's break it down.
Like, how are they proposing to do this? So the first ingredient that jumps out at me in the fat burning department is this
All right.
grains of paradise seed extract.
Interesting name.
It is, and it specifies 12.5% 6-paradol.
6-paradol. What is that? Some kind of
It sounds like something you'd sprinkle on your food.
yeah, like a spice blend.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Well, it does come from a plant, and it's found in Africa, specifically Madagascar aframon.
Okay, so exotic.
Quite exotic. And this 6-paradol, that's the key player here. And the product info mentions clinical studies suggesting it supports weight loss.
Okay, clinical studies, that's the magic phrase, right?
That's what catches the eye. But of course, the curious mind would want to dig deeper, right?
Absolutely. Like, what kind of studies are we talking about here?
Yeah, were they large scale? Were they well designed? Independent? All those important questions.
Yeah, so what kind of weight loss support are we talking about here? What does this 6-paradol actually do?
Well, according to the information, this extract is supposed to increase your body's energy expenditure. So basically how many calories you burn.
Okay, more calorie burning. That's always good.
Yeah, and it's also said to stimulate fat reduction and improve your lipid profile.
Now, when you say lipid profile, what exactly does that mean?
Good question. So your lipid profile refers to the levels of different fats in your blood, like your cholesterol and triglycerides. So an improved profile generally means healthier levels.
Okay, that makes sense.
But here's where it gets even more interesting. They also mention thermogenic effects.
Thermogenic. Now, that sounds a little bit more hardcore.
It does have a bit more of a kick to it, right?
Yeah.
So think of thermogenesis, like your body slightly turning up its internal furnace to burn more calories.
So, like, boosting your metabolism in a way.
Yeah, you could say that. And in addition to that, it's supposed to increase how your body uses glucose.
Okay.
And even inhibit the creation of new fat in those fat cells.
Wow. So that's quite a list of benefits for one ingredient.
It is a pretty impressive list. And of course, those clinical studies definitely pique your curiosity to see what the science really says.
Yeah, for sure. What's next on the fat-burning ingredient list?
Okay, so next up we have green tea leaf extract. And this one boasts a significant 40% EGCG content.
Green tea extract. I feel like that's something you see a lot in weight management products.
It's definitely a common player in this arena.
Yeah, so what's so special about this EGCG?
Well, EGCG stands for epigallocatechin gallate, which is a mouthful.
It is a mouthful.
But it's highlighted as a polyphenol with potent antioxidant properties.
Okay, so good for overall health.
Yeah, definitely. But beyond that, it's claimed to support fat reduction, improve that lipid profile again,
Okay.
and even help regulate blood sugar levels.
So we know antioxidants are great, but how does this EGCG actually contribute to fat burning?
Well, the product info suggests that EGCG might work by inhibiting an enzyme called COMT.
TOMT.
Yeah, COMT. And this COMT enzyme, it breaks down certain neurotransmitters, including norepinephrine.
Okay.
Now, norepinephrine, that's involved in your body's fight or flight response,
Oh, wow.
and it can influence metabolism and fat breakdown.
Interesting.
So the idea is that by slowing down COMT EGCG could theoretically prolong the effects of norepinephrine,
Okay.
leading to a bit more stimulation of your sympathetic nervous system,
Okay.
and importantly, potentially boosting thermogenesis.
So it's like a similar mechanism to the greens of paradise.
Yeah, there's a potential synergy there, but of course, real world impact, it depends on so many factors, and we always need that rigorous scientific study.
Yeah, always good to keep in mind. And there's one more ingredient that's focused on fat burning, right? Bioperine.
You got a bioperine, which is a black pepper fruit extract, and it's standardized to 95% piperine.
Black pepper. No, that's something I definitely use in my cooking.
Yeah, a kitchen staple.
So what's it doing in a supplement?
Well, this one's a little bit different. It's also mentioned as supporting thermogenesis and weight loss, but its main benefit seems to be enhancing the absorption of other nutrients.
Oh, so it's like a helper ingredient.
Yeah, you could say that it's like the wingman making sure the other ingredients are doing their job effectively.
Okay, if that makes sense. So it's all about maximizing the effects, right?
Teamwork.
Exactly. So we've covered the main fat-burning components.
We've tackled that side of things.
Now let's shift gears and talk about the sleep and relaxation aspects.
All right, let's dive into that.
The first ingredient that really stands out to me here is KSM-66, which is an ashwagandha root extract.
Ashwagandha, that's having a moment right now, isn't it?
It seems like it's everywhere these days.
It's definitely gained a lot of popularity, and for good reason. It's got a long history of traditional use as Withania somnifera
Okay.
and KSM-66. This is a specific branded extract standardized to contain 5% vitanolides.
5% vitalize.
Yeah, those are thought to be the key active compounds.
Okay.
And the product information emphasizes a really broad spectrum of potential benefits, like really broad.
Yeah, I was going to say, when I saw the list, I was like, whoa.
Like a long list.
They list stress reduction, improved concentration, and cognitive abilities. Better sleep, quality enhanced cardiorespiratory fitness, reduced body fat, improved muscle recovery.
Wow.
Even increased muscle strength and growth.
It's like the super supplement.
It does sound like it does it all. When you see such a wide range of claims, it makes you wonder, like, how strong is the evidence for each of these things?
That's the key question, isn't it? The source material does say that studies indicate these benefits.
Yeah.
But, for someone who really wants to understand the real value, it's crucial to dig into the specifics of those studies.
Absolutely.
Were they focused on sleep? Were they looking at other things? What were the dosages? All those details matter.
Yeah, it's fascinating how one ingredient can be linked to so many potential outcomes. It's like this complex web of interactions happening in the body.
It really highlights the interconnectedness of everything.
For sure. So what else is in this sleep and relaxation blend?
Okay, so we also have Saffractive, which is a saffron stigma extract standardized to 0.4% cressins and 0.4% saffronol.
Saffron, interesting.
Yeah, and the claims associated with this one seem more directly linked to sleep and mood.
Okay.
So improved overall sleep quality, making it easier to fall asleep and reducing those feelings of anxiety.
Okay, so for someone who has trouble, switching off at night,
Yeah, for those racing minds.
those sound like pretty appealing benefits.
Absolutely. And then there's L-theanine, which is derived from green tea.
Oh, wow. Green tea again. So it's not just about the EGCG.
Right. It highlights how different components of the same plant can have distinct effects.
That's really interesting. So what does this L-theanine do?
Well, it's said to support the function of your brain and nervous system, potentially promoting concentration, creativity, and memory. It's also suggested to have antidepressant-like properties.
Wow.
So it points towards a more calming and mentally supportive role, which could indirectly lead to better sleep, by easing mental chatter and promoting a relaxed state of mind.
So it's more about quieting the mind rather than directly affecting sleep.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
Okay, and then we have lemon balm herb extract.
Lemon balm, that feels very traditional.
Yeah, like something your grandma would make you.
Exactly. It's got that long history of use as a calming remedy, and the product information highlights its traditional uses in helping you relax, maintain a positive mood, and making it easier to drift off to sleep.
Yeah, lemon balm definitely has that association with tranquility.
It does. And finally, in this blend, we have Aquamin MG, which is a form of magnesium.
Magnesium, yeah, that's well known for its role in sleep.
It's a popular choice for sleep support. And here, Aquamin MB is credited with helping to reduce feelings of fatigue and tiredness, supporting normal psychological functions, and contributing to electrolyte balance.
Okay, so all of those things can definitely contribute to a better night's sleep.
Exactly. It's about creating that optimal environment for rest.
Okay, so it seems like they've combined ingredients that target sleep from different angles,
Yeah, a multifaceted approach.
calming the mind and supporting those natural winding down processes.
Exactly. And there are a couple of other ingredients listed, vitamin B6 and N-acetyl L-tyrosine.
Oh yeah, I was wondering about those. What are they doing in this mix?
Well, vitamin B6 is mentioned for its roles in supporting the healthy function of your nervous system and contributing to normal energy metabolism. And N-acetyl L-tyrosine is said to support the nervous system, be involved in the synthesis of hormones, and support brain function.
So more like general support ingredients?
Yeah, they seem to be more about providing overall support, which could indirectly benefit both energy levels and sleep.
Okay, so we've covered all the ingredients and their supposed benefits.
We've gone through the lineup.
Now let's talk about the practical stuff, like how do you actually take this night mega burner?
All right, so the recommended usage is 2 capsules with 300 milliliters of water about 30 minutes before bed.
Okay.
And it specifically says not to take it on an empty stomach.
All right, good to know. Are there any warnings or things people should be aware of before trying this?
Yes, definitely some important cautions. It's not recommended for children or for women who are pregnant or breastfeeding.
Okay.
And there's a pretty significant warning about not consuming a daily amount of 800 milligrams or more of EGCG from all sources.
Okay.
And they specifically advise against taking this product if you're also consuming other products that contain green tea on the same day.
Okay, so if you're already taking green tea supplements, you really need to pay attention to that.
Absolutely. You don't want to overdo it on the EGCG.
Yeah, definitely. And what about the claims themselves? Is there any context we should keep in mind?
Absolutely. The product information clearly states that these claims have not been evaluated by the FDA,
Right.
and that the product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
Okay, that's important to remember.
It is, and there's also a standard disclaimer saying that the action is due to the properties of the product ingredients.
Okay.
Those are typical disclaimers you'll find with dietary supplements.
Yeah, it's good to be aware of that. And just briefly, the information also mentions some logistical and legal stuff,
Oh, yeah, right.
which might be relevant if you're thinking about buying this.
So for completeness, it says that orders are processed through their website and shipped from Hong Kong.
Okay.
They do offer international shipping. There's a 10-day return policy, although it comes with some conditions.
Okay.
And it explicitly states that buying the product for resale is not allowed.
So it's just for personal use?
Yeah, strictly for individual use.
All right, so we've done a pretty comprehensive deep dive into Night Mega Burner.
Yeah, we've covered a lot of ground.
We've explored the ingredients, the science behind them, how it's supposed to be used, and those important warnings and disclaimers.
Yeah, we've looked at it from all angles.
So it's presented as this supplement with a multi-pronged approach.
Yeah, tackling multiple things at once.
Aiming to support fat burning during sleep, encourage relaxation, and contribute to better sleep quality.
Trying to hit all those key areas.
And it uses a blend of ingredients like we talked about the grains of paradise and green tea extract, which might have those thermogenic effects.
Right.
And then ingredients like ashwagandha and saffron, which are traditionally associated with sleep and relaxation.
Exactly. So it's combining those different approaches.
And it's important to remember that all this information comes directly from the product materials themselves.
Right. Straight from the source.
So you now have a much clearer understanding of the claims and the components involved. Yeah, you've got the rundown.
But this brings up a really interesting point to think about, considering the intricate ways in which sleep metabolism and stress are all interconnected.
It's like a delicate balance.
It is. And those are all areas that this supplement aims to influence.
Right. It's trying to address that whole system.
So what are your initial thoughts on the potential role of targeted nutritional support as part of your nightly routine?
That's a good question to ponder.
Yeah. And what specific research into these individual ingredients might you find most compelling as you decide whether this kind of approach aligns with your own health goals?
That's where the real digging begins.
It is, yeah. And that's something for you guys to explore further.
Your homework for today.
All right, so that's our deep dive into Night Mega Burner.
We made it.
We did.
A lot of information to process.
Yeah, a lot to think about.
But hopefully this gives you a good starting point.
Absolutely. And as always, do your own research consult with your healthcare professional.
Always good advice.
And make informed decisions about your health. Your health is your wealth.
All right. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive.
Pleasure as always.
And we'll see you next time for another adventure in information exploration.
Can't wait.